Hey guys, welcome to DU135. Dion here. This is really off the cuff. I just happened to see a few people floating around. We've been really fortunate this year that a lot of our former finishers and athletes have come back and joined us. So on the table today with me, I'll let you introduce yourselves and what year you finished, if you remember.
Matt Piper, 2017 and 2019. Two.
John Salton, I finished at 2017 and was equal first, and then 2018 I came back but didn't actually quite complete it. But it was amazing being here.
Tim O'Laughlin, and I finished last year. Had a crack the year previous to that, but yeah, finished last year.
And Kate MacMunn, I finished last year, 2025.
So I suppose I'll throw it open to the group. Like, great to see you here for a start. But yeah, what was it that drew you back to coming? Anyone can jump in. So what made you want to come back again and just support the last ever event?
I think it's still a part of it. Like it's one of those events that you've got to be connected forever. I think pretty good. Like. Yeah, it's just a part of it. There's that community. It's different to other races where you kind of just go and it's you're in it for yourself. This is a little bit different. It takes, you rely on more people. You rely on each other.
Yeah, there's a bond built out there, but
So tell us about your bond. So tell us the reason you're back and who you're here to support this weekend, Kate. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very, very committed, very behind Claire this year, who ran it last year. Came in an hour behind cut-off, but came in and still came in strong. She's a headstrong runner. She'll be good. But yeah, definitely 100% behind Claire this year.
Yeah, and John gave a bit of a rousing speech to the masses. It's something you felt dear to want to do and really touched everyone from the heart?
Yeah, it wasn't the reason I'm here though. I was going to be blatantly obvious why I'm here, which is generally how I roll anyway. The reason I'm here is because I want to do everything I can do to see that an iconic event like this doesn't go away. It can be, I'm not one of the organisers, but I see that this event has just done so much to touch the hearts of so many people. And if I can touch my heart massively, and I know it just when I hear people share, even just here, this is an event that shouldn't go away because too many things nowadays do go away, and once they're gone, they never come back. And it's too often happening nowadays, and it's usually because of money that does take things away, and I think that should not be the reason. It's we have to do what we can do to put our energy towards what can keep things going, and that's what we do as runners. We put our energy towards what will actually keep us going, and that's where we get inspired to grow in life. And it's when you go, oh no, I can't keep going, and you just pull out. Now, I'm not saying that it's as simple as that for you guys, but I'm saying collectively, between a lot of us, we can actually keep it going. And that's why I just really enjoy opening up and having such a beautiful chat with Deb. She's an amazing medic, as we know.
Yeah. Look, I think we would all love to see it keep going. I don't think that's a problem. I think what we are is almost the underbelly of ultra racing, endurance racing. We're that one that just sits under the radar, and we attract such beautiful people. And without saying we've got a no dickhead policy, we've had no dickheads. if you know what I mean. So there's guys like Adrian Nicholson, who's never touched a social media thing in his whole life, and you hear about him 8 years ago doing UTA one way and then turning around and doing it back the other way, and then Damien Smith's back, an inaugural starter, another guy, absolute legend of the sport. But most of today's runners don't know these guys. They don't actually appreciate. He's ran probably 10 top 10s in G&W and stuff like that. So there's this whole underbelly of ultra runners who don't want to be on big Strava clubs, and they don't want to be showing the world and look at me and taking selfies. And not that there's anything wrong with that, because those sort of people help our event as well. But I think to attract those sorts of people. Like Tim lives around the corner from me in Ocean Grove. You know, our hill is the Bluff. Above Heads. You know, he can come out here, and that's from around the corner, and John's come down from Brighton, and Kate's down from Bendigo, and you know, we've had New Zealand, we've had Canada. It's probably the one area we would have thought a few more internationals. Long way to come, but definitely world class without sounding too cocky. I think I definitely think it brings. I suppose, what's your greatest memory of your times here? And it might not necessarily be in a piece of track or a piece of trail. It might be a conversation with someone. It might be when you're DNF sitting around a fire and that brotherhood or whatever. I'll go through all of these. What's your favourite memory of DU? I know it's hard to know.
Oh, there's lots of bad memories as well, but I guess it's very memorable. But no, I just like having like the support crew, like the Pacers. I remember climbing up Horner Lane and getting towards the end of one, and it's like my mate of mine, he had the music blaring, and we were just singing at the top of our lungs, walking up this hill, like just singing to Pearl Jam, and like just and just having a fun time. Like it's hard, but just really enjoying being out there in the bush, in the community, having your mates and friends around you, and
some lifelong friends.
Yeah. So and then just completing that challenge as well. That's like that. It's just amazing. Yeah. That's one of the things that always pops back into my head. Like it's just being out there with people you love, and yeah.
Yourself, John.
Well, I think the thing that always comes up, there's no question, has to be the people. Because we wouldn't turn up here if it wasn't for the people. And we all know that what we experienced over the last 5 years, people, it split people, right? But when you come to events like this, it just can't help. It just pulls people back together where we connect. And there's this event, in the way my memory of 2017 was just like I can be out there on my own for hours, right? But I get to a checkpoint and I go, I just feel so cared for.
I'll just cut in on you there. 2017, thunderstorms, lightning, crackling through. It was quite scary.
Yeah.
I actually rang Sean Greenhill in the middle of it, who's obviously quite experienced race director, and said, what's your thoughts? This is what we're thinking. We were on the right track, and it was really nice to be able to reach out to another race director and sort of thing. But we shoved you guys into cars, stopped the clock, waited for the thunder and lightning to leave, and then basically all got in contact and said, right, they're ready to go. At that point, you guys made a decision. Tell us what that decision was.
When Murray and I?
Kev?
With Murray,
Kev,
with Kevin,
Yep.
yeah. So, I'd already made the suggestion prior to that with Kevin. When I first come across Kevin down at, I forget what that section's called, way down the bottom where you go along the river. For quite a long
Old River's
time.
changed so much, but
No,
Old
Old
River's
River.
still there.
No, that wasn't Old River.
Oh no, the other one.
Yeah. And just before we started the climb, where they put us in the car, and I just caught up to Kevin again because we had a bit of this to and froing going on, and I caught up to Kevin and I said, "How you going?" And he said, "Mate," he said, "I'm lost. I actually don't know which direction to go." And I said, "So how are you feeling about this thunderstorm that we're getting presented with?" And he said, "Well, it's okay. I'm not feeling that great." But I said, "So how would you like to finish this together? Right? Let's be here for each other for the rest of this run." And he said, "Mate, if there's anybody I'd want to finish this run with, it's you." Because he said, "I know that nobody knows the course better than you, right?" And I said, "Let's do it." So we just made that decision right then that we were going to finish it together. And that was pretty special, just to do that, particularly with somebody of his calibre as well.
Yeah.
And
He was
then-
amazing, wasn't he? Like a guy who can run 24-hour track, 48-hour track. Everyone thought he wouldn't be able to go through a technical course like this. It was just amazing. So,
But the other thing that, for me, what really got me was, here's this guy with so much potential, like his list of, what do you call it? Credentials.
Yeah.
Right? And we get to the next checkpoint, which is at, I think that was, I don't know, it was before Lowe's, might have been Lowe's. But anyway, we got to the checkpoint and he's decided not to. He's he's not going to keep going. Right? And between his sister and myself, we convinced him to get going. Right? And you know, and to be there, like here I am, I'm convincing him to keep going, right? And we did keep going, and we finished together. So the camaraderie there, and just the connection. I haven't seen him since, but if I saw him, I would just embrace him like he's a brother. And I think that's a lot of what we experience in this event. With not just this event, in ultra endurance running, the camaraderie, the connection that we develop with people,
Absolutely.
there's no underestimating that.
It's been 4 hours between each leg, you know, during a leg, don't you, with someone? So that's a lot of time you get to know someone.
Well,
4 hours.
Tim and I ran GSER together the whole thing. That was a big. It wasn't planned at all.
Was that after you'd finished year?
No, that was
it was year
before.
before,
Come in with a familiar face.
It was so good. And actually, at a few points, Tim, much faster than me, I ran off a few times and caught up with him in that aid station, sitting around. I said, "What are you doing here still?" And he said, "Waiting for you. Got bored."
It's nice to have someone.
So did you do it the first year?
GSER?
Yeah.
No, not
No.
this year.
Oh, no,
Last-
that's right.
last
Yes.
year.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So what
Year before last.
did you run with anyone last year? Off and on, or were you mainly by yourself? Were you like in between people?
Yeah, for most part. I did have a couple sort of late on the second day. Had a couple of people start to pace me from there.
Yep.
That was the hardest part. I sort of knew that you could kind of get in with other people and run along. And that's not too bad. But it's that second night, that's when
On the way back when there's not as many people left.
It gets harder. Starts to feed on that second night. Like you just watch the dots go. You know, they just start disappearing.
Yep. Yeah, those demons start to get a little noisy, don't they?
Yeah.
What about you, Kate? Like you're one of only 2 female finishers. I don't think there was a dryer in the house last year, and I think that includes people watching at home and everything. It was just incredible. Obviously, work in the health system, so you're on your feet a fair bit, and dealing with problem solving and challenges and difficult situations all the time. But you know, what do you take away from last year?
It's interesting actually. I had someone tell me recently that the stuff that I do, or you can do hard things. Hard things are achievable. If you want it, you can get it. That's it. And that's easy to say. But I had an awesome crew. I had an amazing crew behind me, and I had great paces. I'd lined it up to get it done.
Yeah.
And I think I was talking actually to Nige this morning, and there was no room, there was no space in my head to even consider not keeping on going.
How'd you go with Nige? I've known Nige since he was a kid, and Nige is quite the football bravado. Come on, just suck it up, like, you know. But at the same time, he's got a caring nature where he will, you know, but more hard ass than not. Did having him in your corner,
Absolutely. Yeah.
that was good.
He absolutely got me through.
He's very polarising like that. Like he's very white line fever.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I've known him for a long time. The year he finished, I was actually on the phone to Tanya, his sister in Canada, because I just happened to have her on Facebook, and I go, "Hey, I'm at the last checkpoint. Your brother's here," and so we showed him around. So that was quite nice as well.
Yeah.
I think your performance last year would have to go down, and you know, without embarrassing you in front of us, but hopefully it goes a bit wider. It was one of the greatest performances, not just by a female, but by anyone. Like, you know, the way you just mowed down that course and just kept going. And we joked with Claire that if she didn't give out so many hugs at halfway, she would have made it. Because he's come in here together, and it was like this big hug and embrace, and it was like, okay, that's halfway, we've done this. Very different mindsets at that point. Like, you were very keen. Claire was sort of, you know, just needed to compose a bit. And but you know what Claire did last year to still finish it. Let's face it, she finished it. It might not be an official finish, but that in itself, to tell somebody that you've just ran 220 Ks, you've done 13,500 metres, you know, but you're not going to get an official finish, and just watch the way she took that on. It was just a full credit to her. And you know, this year she's come in with a niggle, but you know, the niggle could go away too.
I mean, even at the finish line last year, she was already lining up throwing paces for this year. She was ready.
It's a year of thinking about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So look, anyway, guys, really appreciate all your time. Thank you, congratulations, thanks for being part of the DU family, which you will be forever. You know, hopefully, one day we're sitting here and doing this all again. At this point in time, it doesn't look like it, but people like John, aren't gonna let this go. And look, you've all taken a day off work just to come out